wallpaper. Sometimes it's common sense and people need no instruction on how to do it. Other times it takes a lot more muscle and then the advice of professionals. This was a residential vinyl wall covering that was on these picture frame boxes in the living room. What we're left with is a very good fabric backing. Under there is texture. Now, with the experience that I have, I can tell you, this is going to come right off with water. A lot of so-called experts on my YouTube channel tell me that I should be using chemicals such as fabric softener and things like that. And you know, you have to deal with this type of ignorance because everybody knows everything. If you want to go to a heart doctor, you don't go to a wallpaper hanger. If you want to go to a wallpaper hanger, you don't go to a heart doctor. I'm here to tell you how to get this off the easy way. And just because it takes you time doesn't mean you're doing it incorrectly. My method of removal is patience. That's the primary ingredient to removing wallpaper successfully. You'll see that the water, this is all I'm using, this is water in here. The water wets the backing. You know, we all get sticky stuff on our leather jackets, on our car. First thing, what do really? You lick your finger and you use your fingernail, right? Same idea. Same idea. Look at the different color variations. That's getting seriously saturated there. That's gonna come right off. Look at that. Okay, that's all you gotta do. Water and patience. Water, water, water. Don't go crazy trying to get your wallpaper off with all of these harsh metal objects. You know, you wind up costing yourself a lot of aggravation and time by scraping up your walls. And then what? Then you have a mess on your hands, right? I'm here to show you not to do that. Wet down the walls. All we're looking to do is just get them wet. That's all you want to do. Now, around sockets, you have to be super careful. You could actually cause a fire if water gets into a live socket. You can actually cause a fire. Trust me when I tell you. Did it happen to me? I'm not saying anything. But you can cause a fire. So you can see that we don't have water rolling down this fabric, right? No need to. We simply want to get the water to saturate the fibers of this fabric. Once you have those dark colors, you're ready to pull it off. As you can see, it's really working its way through that fabric. And that's the beauty of having a fabric back vinyl. That when it comes down to taking it off, it's not an ordeal. Now let's say you have the right paper. Comes off nice and easily. The other ingredient to successful wallpaper removal is that a person who installed it knew what he or she was doing. Okay? You just can't go and install wallpaper with heavy-duty glue and expect that it's going to come off when the time comes that you want it off. If you're doing it right, look at how the wallpaper starts removing itself. Give you an example. Everybody mailed a letter in his life, right? What would happen if you wet the stamp and try to stick it to the fabric in the envelope? Right? That's paper. This is paper too. But what would happen? It wouldn't stick. So likewise, as we wet this material, it no longer has the capacity to stick. essentially we're compromising the integrity of the adhesion. But now if we let this dry, we strengthen the adhesion. We reactivated old glue, and it'll stick together with great strength. And so, let's see. I like to do this. Watch this with my finger. With nothing else, no fingernail. Look how the wallpaper starts coming off. Gives you an idea how easy it's going to be, right? And even in this case, even though it's coming down easy, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a little more water because it's not coming down easily enough. Let's give it some more water. We've applied our second layer of agua, water, and you can see that the removal is a lot more easy, right? Now you'd be silly if you tried a metal object or a more aggressive form of removal with scrapers or anything else like that. I think people get into the mistake of thinking this has to come down on the first minute. For example, everybody's online these days, right? Who was around when it took about 60 seconds to get online? Remember those days? 20 years ago, and you'd hear all of that music. Welcome, you have mail. Well, nobody would tolerate that today, especially children who are constantly on the internet. If this wallpaper doesn't come down immediately, people have conditioned themselves to thinking, second step, what's the next step? It's not coming off. And those are the people that spend lots of money on removing wallpaper and then repairing the walls after they get it down. They take a day off from work and then they don't know what they're doing. Half of the day is spent damaging their walls, and then they resolve themselves to saying, hey, it didn't work, I couldn't get it off. And they waste all that time because they didn't have the patience. You see? You see what patience brings? Look at this. Now what you're seeing here is lining paper. Somebody figured that it would be best to hang this material with lining paper. I don't think they lined it properly. They didn't cross-line it, they hung it vertically, which is a no-no. Nonetheless, it's coming right off. And the reason why they used lining paper was to hide this texture that was underneath the wall covering that we just took down. But you get the idea. Patience, patience, patience. If you want your wall covering to come down in big strips like this, use patience. Don't think it has to come down at the first try, especially if you've never done it before. My gosh, you know? They watch one video on YouTube on how to remove wallpaper, but it doesn't pertain to their particular situation. And they figure, well, it didn't work. This guy has 20,000 views on this video. It didn't work. So I need to like use a hammer to get it off. Come on. That's silly. Use patience and the right tools. This is plastic. This is a $2 paint etcher. Don't be using harsh chemicals, and don't be using metal objects to remove your wall covering. Look, you and I both shared the same amount of time on this video to get this wall covering down. This is 7 feet high and just about 5 feet wide, give or take. And I got it down with water and my fingernails and a piece of plastic. Come on, you can do this. Do me a favor. Don't use the harsh chemicals. They cost money and they leave a residue on your walls. And then you go to paint them and say, what's that? It doesn't look right here. Well, you used laundry detergent on your walls and it left a residue or whatever. Now let's talk about repairing this. When this dries, I'll say it again, when this surface dries and the glue residue is dry, you need to seal the glue. Because glue is water-based, and if you use a water-based paint or a water-based primer, your glue will be activated by the water, and this is what your paint will look like. See that? And you don't want that. You don't want that. Please don't think that you're going to get all of the glue residue off. That's a fallacy. First of all, that's a very time-consuming prospect, especially on texture. Come on, let's be real. You're a pro, right? Or you're an aspiring pro. Even if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you want to be professional about it. You don't want this taking 3 days. Seal it. Seal this after it dries. With what? Number 1. Guards, G-A-R-D-Z from Zinsser. I can't find guards, Spencer. I went and looked all around for it. Okay, number 2. Bin, B as in boy, I-N from Zinsser. It's an alcohol-based product. Spencer, I looked all around, I couldn't find bin. And geez, it's $45 a gallon. Number 3. Get yourself some Kilz, K-I-L-Z, original, oil-based, no aroma, and seal this surface. Each of the products I mentioned will arrest the effects of the residue of glue, contain it, and give you a working shell over which you can now paint. If you're wallpapering, don't do what I just said. There's no need to arrest the glue. The more the glue, the merrier. Just glue right over it and hang your paper. Okay, any questions? Leave me a comment and I'll be glad to answer. And I will get on to the next one, which should only take me the few minutes that it took me to get this one down. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.